Hey there, friends. Did you miss me? I missed me. I've been busy with life, with raising a second kid in addition to the first one, who is a genuine animal expert at this point, before kindergarten, and my activity on this channel has been limited. I thought I'd give you a nice, chill speed build to ease the pain. This is a Pygmy Hippo habitat I threw together for an upcoming community zoo project by Gunter's Gaming. Go check out the video in the description for more info. I won't spoil anything beyond what I have built here today. Join me. Alright guys, I'm just going to do some pretty much unscripted stream of consciousness commentary for the most part. What you see me do here is something that is very important for Yelbu to do, and that is measure out the area you need for your animals before you start building the habitat. I have the habit of building way too big, and that's what I did in the first instance. I built a Pygmy Hippo habitat that was fit for the normal hippo, pretty much. So what you do then is you grab pieces. You can grab pieces that are 1 meter, or grab pieces that are 4 meters, and then you just, by using simple mathematics, you create a structure, 4 walls, and then you measure the 2 sides, and you multiply them by each other, and then you get the square meters that you have covered within those walls. Simple maths, but kind of something that I should do more than I actually do in reality. But it's an easy way to quickly measure out around how big your habitat should be. So that is what I did in this case, to make sure that it was a realistic size, even though for my standards it feels small. What I did then was to grab some of the construction pieces from the entrance that Gunter's Gaming has already built and use them to build my own background shelter and the walls there at the back to offer some continuity for the community zoo project. And then all in all, the shape is very much not organic. It's very much a rectangular box, which isn't what I always do, but since this community zoo will be more of a rehabilitation center with maybe less of a big budget than, for example, Bolo Bolo, the habitat won't be as crazy or wild, but will just be a realistic looking zoo habitat, and that was the idea for sure. One thing that I knew right away that I wanted to do is build some sort of concrete umbrella with a path that slowly sloped around a round structure into the water, and that is what you see me build here with the good old mud pillar technique, and I'll get back to you once that is finished. Then in terms of pathing, again, nothing crazy, just a viewing here for the underwater section, and then a raised area to see the hippos from above, both in the water and on land. I now realize in hindsight that the underwater viewing isn't low enough, and that you'll have to get down on your knees to see the Pygmy Hippo underwater. But hey, this is not a real zoo. We can pretend that the guests are not that big, right? So yeah, you saw me building that path, and here I am at this point creating some pillars to make sure that this structure has a pillar in the middle. And then just to complete the concrete umbrella look, I decide which umbrella I should place here. This look wasn't quite right, and I eventually, while going through the list, decide that this is the look, and then I pick the colors to make it match more with the environment. So we get this funky little concrete umbrella going. Then we make sure that the null barrier is around the entire habitat. And yeah, what's next? Putting the actual hippos in there and building a staff area. I will hide all that. And then to make sure that the concrete is just deep enough so that you can see the backs of the hippos, I just used this stick and floor method with a real hippo here in the habitat to make sure it was just deep enough so that if you saw the hippos there, you would see the back of the hippo. So that is a trick I've been using. It's if you don't get a statue, just to use a real animal and use them to compare with the scale of construction pieces. One thing we haven't built yet is, of course, the way for these hippos to get down, and that was a bit of, kind of difficult to build. It wasn't quite the way I was daydreaming about it, so it's not very refined, you will see, but it works, it functions, they can walk down it. They don't exactly use it the way I wanted it to, and it doesn't look quite the way I wanted it to, but at the same time, I think this is a very effective and realistic looking design. And they use it in a, as you can see, I had to make it a bit wider and I work with the traversable terrain just a little bit, but I got it right soon enough. As you can see, when building any habitat with water, it takes a whole lot of calculating and trying again to make sure that the water and your habitat works. And as well, you have to do a whole lot of just checking out your habitat from explore mode to see if it's working or not. You're always looking at it from a bird's eye view when building, but you need to get down to the guest level and really make sure that what you're building actually looks good, makes sense, and that the sightlines are in order. Here you see me constructing the rest of the shelter. If you like the look of this shelter, well, that's mostly because Gunter from Gunter's Gaming built this very cool looking entrance, and I'm simply taking the architecture and the pieces from it and recreating it sort of as my own shelter. So the look of that shelter is pretty much his doing. And yeah, I liked it too, and I felt it was obvious that the zoo would use the same building style as the entrance, at least for the first few habitats, that they would probably be built at the same time. And I imagine later projects would maybe have some new architect or other, but these first few buildings were built at the same time by the same designer. Seems logical. I go refining the habitat by making sure this is bigger, but because the hippos didn't quite like the size that I had made for them, the water luckily still works. And then I had to decide what to do with it, make it bigger, make it... yeah, I actually think I changed my mind here. Yeah, I changed my mind. I removed that part of it, changed it a little bit, and then struggled with the pathing. As you can see, Planet Zoo pathing is the bane of any creator, but we got there in the end. It doesn't look as good, but hey, it just works. Here I go fiddling with the settings. I don't know why that is in here. We can just ignore that. What am I doing next, I wonder? Making sure this is a bit more straight. This hippo is asleep. And then always add the water back in to check if it still works the way you hoped it to. And then we go for the good old faux rock. A part of this habitat looks very human-made, and another part of it looks natural, but still using the faux rock still looks like a man-made construction. That was the general idea. I did want this to be a real-looking habitat. I wanted it to be a real looking zoo habitat, and I believe I pulled that off. The Pygmy Hippo is one of my favorite animals, not just in the game but in real life. I think they are so amazing. They are, as the name implies, a pygmy, a small version of the large hippopotamus. They are approximately 75 to 100 centimeters tall and 150 to 175 centimeters long, and they weigh somewhere between 180 and 275 kilograms. So comparing that to the that's still a pretty sizable animal, but of course, the big hippo is an entirely different beast. They live in the rainforests and swamps of West Africa, in Liberia, in Sierra Leone, in Guinea, in the Ivory Coast, and they are a solitary animal, mostly nocturnal. During the day, you will find them resting in rivers or swamps, and at night they will go on land to forage for food, and their food is of course herbivorous. They feed on ferns, they feed on plants, grasses, and fallen fruits. In captivity they live to 30 and to 50 years, likely shorter in the wild. Obviously, they are an endangered species. Fewer than 2,500 individuals remain in the wild due to habitat loss and hunting, and they are, compared to the real hippo, less researched. They are more reclusive, and it's harder to find them, harder to study them in general. But a fantastic looking animal, and it is one of the models in the game that I don't use the remaster for, because I just think they are looking so beautiful and cute. But yeah, that is the Pygmy Hippo, and I'm so glad to have built another habitat for them. All that's left to do in this habitat is to finish the indoor section, adding the final few rocks, adding the final few plants, and I will see you guys at the end. This is a cool trick though. Did you know that this door for the the walkthrough shelters, that it just functions in the game and it has physics and everything? It's just a really cool door to be using for animals, although I don't really know what use it would have in the real world. I'm not sure if I've seen this before, but it looks like it makes sense, so I went with it, same as these stairs. And guys, I will see you at the very end, and I'll let you enjoy some of these chill tunes. I'll see you when we get there. And there you have it, a very chill habitat with some very chill music and some laid-back commentary. I hope it was laid back at least. And yeah, there's not much to be said. I just really enjoy these animals and their animations and the way they look all shiny and wet and blubbery. Yeah, I'm a bit infatuated with the Pygmy Hippo, and I hope I built a nice environment for them to enjoy. So guys, as far as content on this channel goes, I will be continuing these Bolo Bolo live streams for the next few weeks or so, but I am very much trying to get Tierra Encantada going again. I am having a severe mental writer's block at the moment when it comes to it, but I promise you, more is coming when it comes to that zoo. Maybe some more zoo tours, and yeah, you'll see. I'll see you soon.